Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Ball podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. We're back with the news hour. It's already been a week. I had my whole week of vacation. Not looking forward to today. You will find out on stream tonight how my day went. But we are here with the news and everything. Not much going on news wise. So it might be a shorter than usual news hour, but we will work through it. But first off, some housekeeping. We are doing Extra Life this year, raising money for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. You can go to tinyurl.com/GVP Extra Life 10, the number 10. So that's tinyurl.com/GVP Extra Life, the number 10. And you can go there. We're going to start getting a lot more of the Extra Life border stuff coming up. I just didn't have a chance to work the news hour. It's a very specific Zoom and stuff, and I was coming in a little hot on this episode, so I didn't get a chance. But next week we should be on the what's it called? Extra Life stuff, so we'll have everything around here, so you can look at it if you miss me doing the house cleaning. So we will do our main stream on Extra Life Day, which is Saturday, November 8th. We'll be going 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. will be me for the first 2.5 hours. And then Tom will be jumping in at 12, going to about 4. So basically, I'll either be coming in right as he's finishing or be about a half hour later. I'm expecting to be home anytime between 4 and 4:30. And then from that point forward, we are through till, I'm thinking, 2 to 4 in the morning, depending on how I'm feeling. And then I'm going to load up on some Celsius and stuff like that. Order a pizza. And just be raring to go for 12 hours or so when I get back. Because I do want to go at least 14 to 16 hours for me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We should have plenty of things to play with between Ball Pit and some Hades 2 cleanup. Just some games that would take, like each Hades 2 run, which we'll get to in a second, is about anywhere between 28 to 39 minutes, depending on how good I am at it. So that can eat up a lot of time late in the pod. Yeah, so that's that. And then remember, every Saturday and maybe other days in the week, but definitely Saturdays from November through the end of the year, we'll be having a little chunk, like I would say anywhere from 2 to 5 hours of, probably closer to the 5 most of the time, but 2 to 5 hour stream that I will be hosting. Might have guests on there. Might have, maybe one of those will be the get together, and then we'll do like 4 hours together, all of us in one room again. And then, that leads all the way up until December 31st, where I do my New Year's Eve stream, which is a thank you to you guys. Any final donations you guys want to get in before the donation window closes at midnight on the 31st. Or 11:59 technically on the 31st. So we will be working through that. Trying to think what else with those. Yeah, so any ideas you have, I got to get the wheel and all set up and get all the hot sauce stuff and the chicken nuggets and all that to purchase for the stuff for me. I think I'm going to do like $5 donations will get me to spin the wheel and eat something with hot sauce on it. So if you're planning on bidding, like donating like $50, you can donate them in 10 increments of 5, and I will need to eat 10 nuggets with hot sauce on it. But yeah, we're not going to do it's only, 1 nugget per, so, don't make your donation. It's going to be at a donation of at least $5. We'll get that done. So, I will have some catching up to do when we start the stream. So yeah, yeah. Donate to feed the streamer. Yeah, that's how I feel after the money spent at New York Comic Con. Um, that you guys need to donate money to make me eat. Um, but yeah, so that'll all be happening. We'll keep reminding everybody, and we'll go through the uh, you know, whatever's going on. Maybe watch me be terrible at a multiplayer shooter or something during those times. We'll have a lot to do. Maybe we'll play through episode 1 of Dispatch for one of the streams. But yeah, the nothing settled except for the that we're doing Saturdays, and or the first one will be November 8th. So yeah, be on the lookout. Join us then. And then, we'll have our normal streaming schedule. Tonight, if you're watching this on, yeah, no, I'm not going to do, it's literally going to be, there's these little brand of hot sauces that sell their hot sauces like this small, for like $1. So I'm going to pick up every flavor I can of that. And, I'm going to just smother a chicken nugget in it, and eat it. Yeah. So it's not going to be snort, or I'm not doing anything crazy. Even though my body will tell me small slice of it. Oh, that's why I wouldn't do anything that crazy. I will do the best I can to make them evenly spaced. Maybe I'll make one a little smaller than the others. You know, or maybe I'll make one like barbecue or something, and that's like the tiniest slice to where it's not hot sauce. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the wheel. We have plenty of time for that. Yeah, but normal streaming tonight. Tom should be streaming the Game Club game from Podcast Prime. And now that Podcast Prime has been released, I can let you know that it's Super Mario World 2. Yoshi's Island, which I have streamed through on this channel, so you can go watch my playthrough. But if you want to see Tom tackle it, he'll be doing it tonight. And then Thursday, we're going to do some more Final Fantasy VI. And then Saturday, we'll have Trails again. Friday's always up in the air. Like I did a hasty glance at Ballcross Pit. Excuse me. This week. So if there's anything else popping up, or maybe if some of the Steamfest demos are still live, some of them do stay live. Maybe we'll do one or two of those on Friday, but I doubt it. We'll figure it out. So yeah, that is all for house cleaning. Yeah, I bet he wasn't good. I bet he was not happy with you getting the snort hot sauce one a lot. Yeah, so yeah, let's move on to what I've been playing. The main thing I've been playing is I have completed or seen credits on Hades 2, which means I have beaten the bosses the requisite amount of time to get the full story. Not 100% like ultimate ending story. I'm still working through that. Took me 40, 50 nights, something like that. Yeah, I did. I found a strategy that worked for one of the routes, and I just did that until I hit credits. Like, legitimately, it was like, this weapon, tried to get these boons, tried to stay, like, what I knew can get me through. And then now that I am through, I am experimenting a lot more. And having fun. I mean, I was having fun before, but having more fun seeing all the craziness. Like there's one hex that you get from Selene that allows you to bring back a enemy that you had killed, and I had sort of stayed away from that because it was like, for Guardians, there's not really extra people to fight. There's not usually ads so that you can kill them and use them in the fight. Some of them do, and it worked out great. Some of them not really. but for one of the final guardians of a region, um, I had maxed out you know that hex, and I rose that thing up, and that thing started hitting for like 4,000 points of when the thing was weakened. Like there's a point where in the midway of the battle the thing gets weakened, and you can go after it, and you're dealing like extra damage to it because it's in a weakened state. This thing just started pumping damage into this guardian, and I was like, oh, so that's why this hex is is pretty good. I picked the right enemy to resurrect, and it was just all out assault on this boss. But yeah, so still playing through that. I will say it's weird. I'm still gonna have the discussion for Game of the Year because it's definitely one or two. As of right now, this and Expedition 33 are 1 and 2. I just got to think about it and maybe refresh my memory on some stuff and, just to make a final decision on it. But I will say, in comparison to Hades, I liked Hades 2's battle system, like the fights and the encounters and all that, and the boss battles, much better than Hades. I thought there were more bosses, without spoiling things, than there are in Hades. But they felt like they had a lot more variety. I felt like some builds were better for some bosses than others. Where in Hades, I got really good at doing the dash attack with the knuckles, and that seemed to work on every boss, including Hades. And it made it easy for me to get through that game. This one, you could have had a build that was really good for one boss and completely not helpful for another one. And meaning like one of your boons. Like, could be there was a hex where at every 4 seconds when you drops down a thing that does a ton of damage. Well, one of the bosses moves around a lot, so it was completely useless against them. I had to sort of trap them in an animation of doing an attack and take some damage, just so it would last the 4 seconds for this thing to come down and drop the hammer on them. But the battle system, I like this cast thing better than the shooting out the blood things. I like the upgrade paths. I like the Arcana system. Everything about this game, from mechanics standpoint and all of that, was either better quality of life or just better overall, in my opinion. I did like this game much better. Where it lost me a little bit compared to Hades is I felt the story was a little unfocused a bit. Like, with Hades, when you got to the end, and that's an old enough game that I can say this, I'm trying not to spoil Hades too. Once you beat it 10 times and you get the credits in Hades, the storyline leading up to that, like, made sense. It was very tight, it was very well written, well done. While Hades 2 is well written across the board, the story getting bigger sort of led to some times when the writing, like the story didn't coalesce together well enough for me. There were some things like something would happen in the story and I would just sort of go, okay, why? And they try to explain it and then I'm like, I don't know if that makes much sense. But outside of that, just the whole, gathering together, and maybe the ultimate ending solves all this, if I get to it. Yeah. But, yeah, so I'm going to keep playing through it to see, but, like I said, story, little bit looser than, some jagged edges to it than Hades 1. Okay. All right. And is your quick question? This is for audio people. Goat, who's in our chat here, which you can be if you come on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Mentioned about his eye surgeries that he's having. Yeah, so you're going to be second surgery is coming up or did happen. With my vacation, I lost track of your dates for that stuff. But yeah, I tuned into a couple of streams. The one you had on Saturday, I believe, I missed because I was at my mom's birthday dinner. It's like, oh, Goat's live. So yeah. All right. That's why I thought it was coming up. So, yeah. Well, good luck to you. And once that's done, maybe, you can be fully good to go, and then streaming more often. But yeah, we all wish you the best of luck. I'm sure our listeners and fans out there do as well. And so you, maybe, if you're looking for a game to play, maybe you want to play the other game I've been playing, a Ball Cross Pit, which I did a hasty look of on Friday, which should be up on YouTube this week. The game is, I was describing it as kind of a mix between like Vampire Survivors and like Achanoid or was it Breakout or whatever. And it's just sort of, it's one of those mindless fun games, kind of like Vampire Survivors, where you can bleed 20 minutes away with no problem. And just, I'm probably going to go play it and watch, you have YouTube videos on in the background as I sort of try and ease myself to sleep out of my anxiety right now. But yeah, it's the thing I love about it. It's not going to challenge for Game of the Year or anything. It's not that good. It might end up third, but it's like there's an extreme gulf between Hades Expedition 33 and everything else I played this year. This might end up being the best of the rest. But what I do like is with this game, the strategies are there for you to, sort of each, depending on what you get, just like Vampire Survivors, each sort of type of ball you get that you're shooting at these enemies coming at you in a line. That's where I'm kind of getting like the Breakout sort of vibe. And you should be able to, what's it called? Get, either you're pushing real close, and you can either do that or you can send balls to the back and they do stuff in the back while you're playing up front. And you don't get to shoot a ball again until it comes back to you. So if you send one of your special balls to the back, you're out of luck for that until it gets back to you. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's something that you like that either I didn't play or something that will be discussed during Game of the Year, or our top 10 stream. But yeah, essentially Ball Cross Pit, you do automatic shooting. You can do manual if you want a little more control over it, where you catch the balls and throw, like, control over when they come in and out. I like the auto shooting better just because it's one less thing I gotta not worry about as I play. And I apologize for the video viewers. Game Vault Cats keeps trying to get my attention, so that's why I'm sort of leaning down here. But yeah, so I'm only got to the second area so far, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm having fun with it so far. We'll definitely have more updates on that. That and Hades 2 I'll probably be talking about all year. And the only other game that I have played. I'm trying to think. I'll talk about the demos I played. I played um, the end of the greatest RPG of all time. I think that's what it is, or the remake of the end of the greatest game RPG of all time. I do, I do like the humor in that is fun. The thing is, playing a demo of it, um, was trying to figure out the battle system, which I think is also part of the game because you're collecting the game manual pages as you go along. They also made a mockumentary about the making of the game in there, which is pretty funny. And the best part about and this isn't a demo for you to play, so I did not get a chance to play Arc Raiders. Um, yeah, I squeezed in the two that I could when I was doing the Game Vault Pod After Dark. But yeah, that I liked a lot of I liked some of the most of the writing in it. The combat is interesting. I did enjoy the when you got the notebook pages. That was how you figured out things. Like it showed you sort of some of the combinations to do moves. There was even like a handwritten note in there. For how to beat the final boss of the demo. And if that's stuff that's going to be throughout the game, it's going to be real good. I think it's something I'm definitely going to be picking up. But yeah, it was interesting. It had the chance with some of the stuff it was doing. These guys had a lot of guts to put themselves in the game. Or at least in this demo. Because it could have been off-putting, but they were endearing enough that it did not do that to me. So yeah. So I did check that out. That video should be up this week. Coming in maybe by the end of the week, maybe Friday. And then the other one I did Marvel's Cosmic Invasion, which is the beat 'em up, which had very much Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage vibes to it. That was one of the beat 'em ups that I played a lot of as a kid. From what I played, it was just that. It was a lot more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle-y than Streets of Rage or those kind of beat 'em ups. A lot more cartoony, fit more into the Marvel aesthetic, especially comics side. For that, I played Wolverine, of course, because you play Wolverine in the X-Men game. And then you can have a second character. I picked Storm, and then I was Spider-Man. And I made it all the way to the demo without needing I didn't die too much. But it's definitely a demo you can replay to try all the different characters out. They have special moves that build up as you beat people up, and you can sort of juggle a guy after you take away his energy bar, and life, and you can get like your multiplier up, which helps with your getting your special up. So it was a fun game. It's definitely it can be 4 players, which would be 8 different people you can have throughout a thing. There's a campaign. Obviously the arcade was the only thing there for the demo, but I did have a good time playing through that. Learned that both of those games probably weren't good stream games in terms of demos, because there wasn't much time for talking there. So yeah, that's about all. The only other game that I played, I'm finishing up my season for NHL 25. I got excited because the announcers did a whole special thing for when I got 200 points. So I'm like, all right, when I break the record, which is 215, they're going to do something special. I got 216, nothing. And I'm like, come on, guys. It's not that hard. You don't even need to mention the amount of points. Just have some kind of, maybe it is hard. I'm not a developer. To just have a stock line of, and there it is. He is now the he is now the season all-time points in a season. Yeah, that's probably true. But it's just simple. It's a one-line thing, like I say in everything. It's one line. It's all I want, just one line. But yeah, but I'm having fun. Almost done there. So yeah, that is it. So that will bring us to. Let me just make sure this is all ready. To the news. First off, just a quick thing here. Like I said, we're probably going to go through the news pretty quickly here. Just this is something that can spark a debate or conversation. Not all games are created equal. Original Saints Row dev says GTA 6 deserves to be $100. As the debate over the price of Grand Theft Auto 6 rages on, one developer of the original Saints Row, itself heavily inspired by GTA, has said he hopes Rockstar charges $100 for it, insisting it's the only game in the world that can get away with it. Strauss Zelnick, boss of Rockstar's parent company Take-Two, is often asked how much Rockstar will charge for what is expected to be the biggest entertainment launch of all time. And each time he's asked, Zelnick dances around the question, pointing to delivering value for the customers. Adding fuel to the scrutiny is the industry's recent jump from $70 to $80 for some games. If Nintendo is charging $80 for Nintendo Switch 2 games like Mario Kart World, and Microsoft, as many expect, jumps to $80 for its games from next year after backtracking on doing it, just doing just that this year, then it's hard to see GTA being priced any cheaper. That's true. Historically accurate guy, but only for sports games. For the audio listeners, Night Duck pointed out to my displeasure earlier. But yeah, so I think the funny part is about this. Yeah, that's true. GTA is big because it is cheap. But my thing is, I always have a little bit of a laugh with this, in that there was a time when different games cost different amounts of money, and it was mainly because of the size of the cartridge for the game. Like, I think it's Chrono Trigger was like $80 or $100 when it came out. I think Final Fantasy 3 was like that, and most games were like $50, $60 at that point, maybe even $40. So there's historical precedent for games costing different depending on how big they are. But in that case, it was a hardware size big, which cost the company more money, so they charged more money for it. And not so much in this case where, I get maybe it definitely costs more money to do a game this big, but it's not a physical reason like carts were. Yeah, and as Goat says in the chat, he'd only pay $100 if it's the deluxe or expanded thing. It's going to be a test to see. What is going to happen is either GTA 6 is going to be $80, and then we're all going to be complaining that all these other games are not worth $80, because look at GTA 6, look at what GTA 6 gave us, and that's $80. You don't deserve to be $80. Or it'll be $100, and then there'll be a whole bunch of games that will also charge $100 that are not going to be worth $100. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to happen. I think they're going to charge $80. I don't. I could be completely wrong. They could just go to $100 and just say it, but I think in their mind they're going to sell a shit ton of games anyway. If you charge it at $80, you might sell more. Maybe that's just my feeling on. Maybe I'm too online in some instances with gaming critic stuff that I think that. But yeah, you're gonna GTA 6 is gonna be like a tentpole lightning rod, whatever, when it comes out. Just because if it's great, and every game, will be like, why can't you be like that? Some insane people will be. But yeah, I think it's a discussion to have. Like I said, it's not unheard of in the video game industry for different games selling for different prices. And probably not the when I say casual, I don't mean casual in a negative sense, but like the gamers that aren't also listening to 6 podcasts like I'm listening to, or all that, will probably not care and not say any of that stuff. Um, but yeah, it's sort of this is going to be something. It's going to be an event, one way or the other, in terms of when it comes out. And it will even touch people that, as Go says, he never likes the GTA games. It will affect something for at least a few years, in the way other people market and do their games. So it's a great conversation to have. And the $100, like I said, the pricing games differently. We used to have B games that were $30-$40. Now those are mostly just indie games. Like these big studios aren't putting out the lesser price games anymore. But yeah, just thought in a week news week, this was a good first story here. In other news, live action Horizon Zero Dawn movie has a working script. Sony released plans revealed in new court document. Sony is hoping to start filming of its live action Horizon Zero Dawn movie in 2026, with a release at some point in 2027, according to a new court document. The Game Post said it had spotted the revelation in a court document filed as part of Sony's ongoing legal tussle with Tencent over Light of Motiram, which it accuses of being a knockoff of Guerrilla's video game Horizon Zero Dawn. In the legal document, PlayStation's productions boss said that Horizon Zero Dawn movie now has a working script and Sony is on the hunt for a director. The plan is to start filming next year and release the movie in 2027. The PlayStation Productions boss said, "We are in development for a film based on Horizon in partnership with Columbia Pictures. We already have a working script and are actively searching for a director with the goal of shooting the picture in 2026, releasing in 2027. The live-action film follows the recent collaborations between Columbia Pictures and PlayStation Productions on the 2022 Uncharted film and the Gran Turismo film." So, for those of you that want a live-action Horizon Zero Dawn movie, it's one of their franchises that could do it. And it's got enough of a backstory. I always thought when they were doing the series, I would have loved the series to been like Horizon before Zero Dawn, and just followed like the intrigue of like the final moments of that leading up to the game. I thought that would have been a much interesting series than this would be. The game itself works better as a movie. Like if you're setting it in the time that Aloy lives in, that works better as a shortened hour and a half, 2-hour movie than a series. I always thought the series should have been like the times back with the shitty people that were around right before the end of the world, or end of the world, and just elaborate on those stories a little bit more. So we'll see in 2027 what this is like. Next up, Metro Rivals New York, Dovetail's new train sim game announced. I only pulled this because, your boy does truck sims. Now there's going to be a train sim game. Dovetail Games, perhaps best known as the developer and publisher of Train Sim World series of video games, which I've always been meaning to try, announced a brand new title at IGN FanFest, and it's unlike anything they released before. Metro Rivals New York is an innovative and genre-defined subway simcade game set to release in early 2026. In the game, players step into a near-future New York where the subway system has been carved into 10 fiercely contested districts. In addition to its single-player campaign, Metroid Rivals New York includes a PvP mode where up to 4 players can compete online or with friends. Drivers can race to stop at designated platforms and are scored on their ability to handle their trains with precision and control under pressure. When I read this story, just the idea of a a PvP train sim racing game. Just made me laugh. I will definitely try this out if this is a demo. Um, and, hopefully it's not pay to win. Um, oh, okay. Yeah, I am. I am really excited for this. Um, just to give it a try. Night Duck points out in the chat here, which again you can be on if you come over to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GameBallPod. Mentions this is Densha De Go, which is big in Japan. So yeah, I saw the story, pulled it, read it over a little bit, and was like, yeah, I gotta announce this on the show. So next up, WWE 2K25 celebrates John Cena with a farewell tour edition. The WWE 2K25 farewell tour edition and farewell tour edition pack has new playable wrestlers and cosmetic items as part of its content. WrestleMania 41 John Cena, Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena, hell yeah, and Ron Cena, which was R-Truth's version of John Cena, yeah, so pretty cool announcement for this. I just got this game as part of the Humble Bundle Choice, which is a thing I've done monthly, one of those stupid things that I probably should cancel because I don't play most of the games I get, but every once in a while it gives you an interesting game to play. And this being tied into this, this is pretty good. So if you're a WWE fan and have this game, this edition should be coming shortly. Next up, new Dissidia Final Fantasy is coming, but only to mobile devices. So this was a womp womp when I read it. A new Dissidia Final Fantasy game is on the way. Dissidia Final Fantasy brings together the largest collection of Final Fantasy characters ever in a fighting game, where players can choose their allegiances between good and evil. The first such game was released in 2008, and it got an 8 out of 10 from IGN. From what we can tell, the new teaser site set up by publisher Square Enix, though, this is a team boss battle arena that will only be coming to iOS and Android mobile devices. I had thought this was going to be a new Dissidia game, but unfortunately it is only for mobile. Maybe it'll end up being good. Maybe it'll eventually bring it to consoles or PC. But if you do play a lot of games on your phone, and you're a big Final Fantasy fan, and you like the Dissidia game, you got a new thing coming out. Just keep an eye out for it. Just a quick thing, the Outer Worlds 2 global release times. When it releases on October 29th, they did announce that. So on Thursday, it looks like it is going to be 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time. So if you're on the West Coast, you'll get it on Thursday at 9 p.m. And that is for the early access on Friday. And then the global launch, when the game comes out on the 29th, will be 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Wednesday, October 29th. So kind of like with, I don't know if it was which game it was, but they it released like during the afternoon instead of at midnight. So depending on what you got, if you have the the early access portion, you can get to that on midnight on when that is released. But if you don't, you'll have to wait until 1 p.m. on the 29th. And Night Duck explaining about someone posted about Dissidia. They should make a fighting game with no depth that is also inscrutable to newcomers. And someone responded with Dissidia NT, which is 100% true. Next up, sales of the PS5 exclusive Ghost of Yotai in line with Ghost of Tsushima's in Europe, new data reveals. Ghost of Yotai sales are in line. That was in the headline. As reported by the Game Business, Ghost of Yotai debuted at number 2 in the GSD European charts behind EA's FC26, which is no surprise. Sony has yet to announce sales figures for Ghost of Yotai, which launched exclusively on the PlayStation 5 on October 2nd, 2025. But we now know that in Europe it is doing about as well as its predecessor, which launched in 2020 exclusively on PlayStation 4. That is, for its first few days on sale, as the GSD European chart runs through October 5th. There are a number of things worth noting here. Not only did Ghost of Tsushima launch on a console with a bigger install base at that point than PS5 has now, it launched during the pandemic, which saw record video game sales and player numbers as people were forced to stay at home during lockdowns. The game business noted that Ghost of Yotai is the biggest first-party PlayStation launch since Spider-Man 2 in October 2023. Helldivers 2, which launched February 2024, remains the fastest-selling PlayStation Studios game of all time, with an incredible 12 million sold in 12 weeks. Well, that'll do it for the Game Vault Podcast News Hour. I do apologize. We had some technical difficulties, so that's why we had to cut off at the Ghost of Yotai story. But we will be here throughout the week on streams. Tom will be streaming tonight, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. He'll be back on Thursday with Final Fantasy VI. And then Saturday, I will be here for Trails. And then Sunday, we'll be back with the News Hour. We might be streams in between, maybe on Friday, stuff like that. Just keep on the lookout. Make sure you have those notifications checked. We are also raising money for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia through Extra Life. You can go to tinyurl.com/GVP, as in Game Vault Pod, Extra Life, the number 10. Once again, that's tinyurl.com/GVP, Extra Life, the number 10. And we'll be starting, first stream will be Saturday, November 8th, starting at 8 or 8:30 a.m. So, yeah. So thank you guys for joining me. Apologize for the abrupt ending and weirdness here, but, sometimes technical difficulties on our end. But we got most of the stories done. I think the only thing left was PlayStation Plus announced their extras and premium. If you have those, you should know by now or close to it what games have been released for you. All right. Once again, thank you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.